going on, Jerome's? So we're in the midst of Minnesota early winter, right? And how do you get through it? How do you get through the vitamin D deficiency in Minnesota without fake baking? Well, I'll tell you this much. So if you have a door or window that's facing the sun during the day, especially when there's snow on the ground, lots of reflection, lots of light, lots of heat coming through that window. So if you want to post up in front of that window for 10, 15 minutes, get some rays of sunshine, it'll improve your mood. Like, obviously, it's not scientific. It's more anecdotal, but it'll help. Yeah. Also, you can get a little tan from that. Maybe I'm just tan in general. Anyways, long story longer, Paul Allen, PA on the mic, 9 to noon, voice of the Vikings. PA is one of a kind, man, and he's a fantastic homer for sure. In terms of the radio broadcast, great on 9 to noon, great at Canterbury as well. And they're racing, and of course, friends with Mike Florio. That's not a thermos, right? And, PA's seen some stuff and some things. So he's been through the 98 Vikings, been through the aughts, went through the 2010s, went through ownership changes, head coaches, GMs, quarterbacks, everything, right? And PA, he is privy to some information. Like, he's omnipresent. He's constantly around the building, and he's not really one to dish gossip too much, right? But the whole Viking situation right now, even though Quase and Kevin O'Connell got their extensions, I feel like it's a little tenuous right now because there's one thing to lose and have vision, another thing to be just in disarray right now. And the Vikings got 5 games to prove that J.J. McCarthy is going to be the guy moving forward and hopefully get that offense in the right place. But the whole thing about the Wilfs is that we've said, honestly, love and respect the Wilfs. I think they're among the best, if not the best, owners in the National Football League because they spend on the team. You look at the facilities, the amenities, the way that the Vikings take care of spouses and families, as well as they invest in the team. They hire good people. They let them work. They're definitely hands-off owners. They still live in New Jersey, and they still operate things here, right? And to a degree, we said that maybe the whole hands-off approach didn't work out great at the end of the Zimmer and Spielman regime, where they literally did not talk to each other for 2 years. So if you're not in the building every day, every single way, you don't get the you don't get the sense of the tension that's in the building, right? And I feel like that the Wilfs definitely took more of a hands-on approach this time around, even though they certainly aren't to the level of Daniel Snyder, Jerry Jones level. But this embarrassment can't be happening right now. It's kind of rough. Long story longer, PA had an interesting observation. So this sort of flew under the radar, but I feel like it could be something. It could be absolutely nothing. It's one of those situations. But Paul Allen was talking about before the game against the Seahawks on Sunday. Now, the Wilfs, as owners, obviously home games, but also road games. They're traveling from New Jersey. They'll be there to support the team, usually get in the locker room after a big-time W, all that stuff. You see them in the background of all the Kevin O'Connell winning speeches. There hasn't been many of those speeches this year, but PA talking about Wilfs ownership. In all the times I've been on the I've been on the pregame sidelines for Minnesota Vikings football games, and that's a lot of times. Yeah, with respect to those listening in Eagan and New Jersey, don't kill the messenger. I'm the announcer trying to make everybody, including you, smile. So perhaps the part that I wrote about the first time in all the ventures of traipsing sidelines 2 hours and 15 minutes up to about an hour and 10 minutes before football games, I didn't see a member of the Wilf family on the sideline yesterday. So is it a spot where the Wilfs are just like, okay, the season is sort of kaput? Could be some changes. Why bother going up to a massacre which occurred on Sunday? Vikings versus Seahawks. Why trek all the way up to the Emerald City to do that? Right. Continuing. So then I think from there it was maybe because of the super special tariffs. Fuel prices are astronomical, and it's just not a pragmatic business solution flying from Jersey to Seattle. It is a long trip. And they're pragmatic business people. Maybe Thanksgiving leaked into the weekend, didn't see any of them. And the next line was the one that God probably chose to eliminate because it may be dicey for the future of 9 to noon. And yours truly. And it was something like, if I'm within the walls of TCO Performance Center Bar and Grill, I take notice. I take notice when you don't see any of them down there. So, like I said, could be something, could be absolutely nothing. But if you're Kwesi, Kevin O'Connell, like maybe you got word ahead of time that, hey, ownership is not going to be traveling to this game, and maybe you're thinking, okay, are they sort of out on this team? Are they out on me? Are we going to be out of a job kind of soon? But it is something that, PA certainly doesn't put out lightly, because ultimately, the Wilfs signed his paychecks to be the broadcaster of the Minnesota Fighting Vikings. Obviously, he loves that gig, so he's not trying to put that in jeopardy. So I don't think he's talking out of school in this spot or just gossiping. But it is pretty noteworthy that the Wilfs on the sidelines pregame for every single game that PA can remember, ever since they bought the team from Red McCombs, all of a sudden absent when the team is spiraling, when the team was set up to get embarrassed. And like PA said, it could be something to do with jet fuel prices. It could be something to do with maybe they had family for Thanksgiving for the long weekend. Jersey to Seattle is not a short trip by any means. Could just be something like that. But I don't know, obviously the season has not gone the way that everyone wanted it to, especially ownership, because also, hey, when you have for us fans, if you have a bad season, it kind of stinks, but also maybe save a couple bucks on tickets where you may have gone to a game later in the season, right? But for ownership, I mean, that's money. That's bottom line. That's ticket revenue. That's no playoff take. That's no XYZ. That's no surge of merchandise like they had last year. So at the end of the day, it's wins and losses for us, but it's wins, losses, and lost money for them. So it could be something where they're taking a hard look at the operation. Is J.J. McCarthy going to be the dude? Is Kwesi, Kevin O'Connell, are they going to be in these jobs? Now, the kiss of death seems to be the vote of confidence, right? So, again, the Wilfs are, pretty much in the background. They let their people work. They talk when they need to talk. Ziggy addressed the media after the Adrian Peterson thing. Mark Wolf was very out in front of the head coach and GM search when the Vikings went through it in 2022. So maybe it could come to say the Vikings get starched a couple more times the rest of the way. The dreaded vote of confidence. We have full confidence in Kwesi, adofo-mensah, and Kevin O'Connell. That could be coming, right? And obviously they're going to be on the sidelines Sunday against Washington at Dallas, whether it's in Sunday Night Football or flexed out. That would make sense. Jerry Jones, very hospitable. And also they're at New Jersey. They're literally in New Jersey playing against the Giants, so they'll be there for that. But it's interesting. It's interesting, especially the way that the Vikings just got dismantled against Green Bay. So, like I said, I don't think that PA is just put stuff out there to put stuff out there, but it is sort of noticeable, right? All of a sudden, ownership doesn't show up to your game. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Paul Allen, PA on the mic, 9 to noon, points out that Wilfs ownership was that Seattle game. Maybe they knew. I don't know. Could it be a precursor for something else or just a one-off thing? Who knows? Let us know your thoughts. Our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best you know what to do. Skol, production value.